What's up, Game Boys and Girls? Big T here, back with another video. And this video is about E3 and how I feel like some YouTubers, specifically those on the kind of more journalism news delivering side, seem to want to cancel E3. Let's talk about it. Yeah, so it seems like over the last few years, because of COVID and whatnot, we haven't had live shows, live events where people gather, and understandably so. Uh, and I think even before then, I think it's just now being more kind of put to the forefront. But even before then, there are certain people, like I said, certain gaming YouTubers, certain quote unquote gaming journalists who who revel in the idea, seem to be reveling in the idea that E3 go away as far as, a live in-house event where people, gather and meet and talk to each other human beings. Certain people seem to have had a problem with that format and kind of rejoice in the idea of there no longer being an E3. Now, yeah, we live in an age where companies can easily get onto their social media, they can get onto, platforms and put out a video putting news out. And that happens, and that is fun, and that's great that we're able to have that happen and not have to wait to a certain specific event. Um, but I, I just don't understand the notion of not wanting something like an E3, uh, because it is good to sit and talk to people face to face and get a sense of uh, authenticity by sitting in front of somebody and looking them in the eye and talking about things that they're working on, or just industry related stuff. That is a cool thing to have and to want. And I've seen what's his name? Destin, I think Destin Legary. He does IGN. He also has his own channel, and I just remember him doing a video about this topic and talking about, oh, I have to log around or drag around my camera and my equipment and all that, and I'm like, you need a different job if that's a problem. Because for me, I've never done this professionally or made money doing it. It's for video game stuff. But for me, that's a fun thing to do. To take my camera equipment and walk around, set it up, and talk to people face to face. To me, that is fun. And if it's not fun for you to do that, you need a different job. Like to sit back and say we don't need that anymore. I find it strange for a person that calls himself a journalist, because that's what journalists do. They sit and talk to people about things they're doing, and that's just part of the job. It's if everybody just think about it, because I think because of the world we live in, how we're all connected, and you can get news, just by sitting in your man cave. You don't need to actually go out and do things. But somebody in this stream, in this on this road, has to be the person or people who go out and do things. So other people who are sitting in their man caves can talk about these things. But if nobody gets up off their asses and talks to people about these things, you won't have stuff that you can cite from other people who are actually getting off their ass. So I never understood that mentality. Now you can say, well, you don't want to do it because you're lazy and you'd rather just sit in your man cave and talk about news that other people are actually going out there and gathering. But I don't understand the notion of not wanting these events to happen, because somebody has to do this. Somebody has to talk to these people face to face. Somebody has to get off their behinds, get on a plane or whatever, get in their car and go on a road trip and get this information that you then can sit on your ass and share. Um, so I just don't. I never understood the idea of people liking E3 to go away or anything like that, because that's a good experience. It is good to get out and talk to actual people, touch grass. I just don't get it. And so, like I said, for specifically for a journalist, or a person who likens himself a journalist, to sit back and say, "Oh, it's a slog to have to carry around equipment and do all these things." I always like that. Like I've done PAX East like three times or so, and I enjoy it. It's not the most fun thing to have to push through crowds. I mean, but it's not really that bad. Um, I like being around like-minded people, being in a situation where you're around a bunch of people instead of sitting and only interacting with people online. I think that makes you. I think that devalues you and what you do if you're not actually getting out there and being a part of the industry. And so I don't want E3 to go away. Should it change? Yeah, it's got to change in some ways. It already has changed. E3 used to be a very boring kind of trade show where companies would get up on stage and talk about how awesome they are and all how much stuff they sold and all that stuff, and they don't do that anymore. And that's a good thing because it's becoming more fan centric, and that's why I think fans should care about it. Um, so E3 is changing. It has been changing. And for people to act like, oh, it hasn't changed just because it isn't a completely online show, well, it's lame. You have to, these companies, they get in these little back rooms and they talk about stuff. They make deals and all kinds of things. That stuff happens at these shows. It's not just about a company presenting what they're going to have for the year. That's part of it, and there's never enough venues to do that, right? To me, there's never enough venues for companies to discuss what they're doing, where the industry is going. For me, there'll never be enough venues for that. I think it's cool for Nintendo to have their directs, but I also want to see them at a place, doing things with and interacting with fans and people. Uh, I also like that aspect. What I don't understand. What do people have against that? I really don't get it. Um, we need places. We need things like E3. Now, for somebody like a what's his name, Jeff Keighley, to rejoice about no E3, I understand that because it's more opportunity for him to get out there and do his summer games thing or whatever he calls it, and he gets to make more money and not just at the end of the year with the Game Awards show. So I get somebody like him because that's an opportunity for him. But the opportunity clearly is still there because he's excited about being able to put on something for the E3 time, and so there's still a desire for that by fans and whatnot. I would think most fans are saddened by the fact that E3 got canceled, and clearly this year things are getting better as far as COVID goes. Uh, Restrictions are dropping, mandates are dropping everywhere, and people are getting out and doing more things. And it would have been nice to have an E3 this year, where people are actually gathering together. That would be great. I'm going to PAX East this year. I'm going to be lugging around my camera and hopefully talking to people. And that to me is a fun, cool thing to do. I just, again, I just do not understand. I, I understand it on a level of laziness. I get it that certain YouTubers, certain journalists don't want to get off their ass because they've been sitting on their asses for a couple of years now. And they want to have to peel themselves out of their gamer chairs and actually go out and interact with people on a face to face level. But I like that. I like interacting with people on a face to face level. It's just it's it's more personal, It's I feel like I'm doing something instead of sitting down reading somebody else's work. Um, Again, because somebody has to get out there and do the work. So for you people to want everything to just be online, the internet ruins everything. It's great for a lot of things it does, but it's also ruinous for a lot of things because as much as it's supposed to bring us together, I also feel like it's tearing us apart as human beings, and how we interact with each other. Interpersonal communication is very important, and a lot of people are every day are lacking more and more interpersonal skills because they're used to just either sitting at home talking through a camera at a bunch of people they don't know, and and rather than getting out there and looking at people face to face. Again, I had a lot of fun. You guys have seen my videos. Maybe I'll clip a few here of me at PAX East and at live events. It's just fun to be out there and being around like-minded people, people who are excited about gaming the way you are, and actually seeing them and interacting with them on a personal face-to-face level, and not just in a live stream. And there's nothing wrong with live streams, but you got to get off your ass and get out there and connect with people on a personal level. So, yeah, that's my take on it. I don't want E3 to be canceled forever. A lot of these guys, some of them don't actually say it, but that's what they feel. They feel like um, they want it to be gone, as far as being like going into a building with a bunch of other people, a bunch of other sweaty individuals who like video games as much as you do. I don't want that to go away, and I don't understand anybody who does that's in this gaming space. But anyway, that's my take on it. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Do you think E3 should be canceled in person? Do you want everything to just be online and you can sit and your behind can just grow and grow and grow as you sit back and eat chips and put grease all over your game consoles and controllers? Or do you think it should be more personal? It should be in house. I like seeing people's live reactions to stuff. I like being there if I can be there in person, videoing and talking to people, and that's just how I feel about it. I just wish this would stop. It seems like it just keeps coming every year. People trying to cancel live events, and I just don't get it. But let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Thank you again for watching and listening, and I'll see you fools next time. Peace out.